Hi guys, Bran here, and welcome to another commentary video. Today I'm talking about my impressions of the Skull the Merchant Gold Old Adriana from my first day of play. I played it for about 5 hours on stream, basically nonstop, and it was something. You can probably tell by my response, but those of you that were in the other videos just excited for me to come out with my impressions today and be like, wow, she really is the worst killer ever. She really is bottom 3 in the game, and she's despicable, and I hate her. I was pleasantly surprised, and I had a good time. As you can see in the top right that I left out in there intentionally, I even got the new skin. I liked her so much. She's actually, especially with her quality of life buffs, actually a surprisingly fun and interesting character that I can see myself playing and will be in my regular rotation. Man, isn't that a twist? Wow, that's just wild considering the amount of videos I've been making lately of her being somebody I was not looking forward to and not interested in. And I think it came down to specifically the way she plays, because of all the videos I made talking about how she's basically a Predator ripoff, how her animations and her general presentation are lackluster and her lore is terrible. Like, all these things are still true, and those are still lackluster. Like, even now, like we talked about in that one Mid-Skull video, how like she didn't have a starting animation in the opening panoramic to every match. They added one, but it glitches halfway through and gets stuck. So yeah, there's a very distinct lack of polish on this chapter, which is very noticeable, very noticeable. And I will not blame you if you get it, but I found that she's actually incredibly fun to play, and I have to explain that to you because I did not expect this at all. So her main issue as a killer is that she doesn't have any sort of anti-chase. She doesn't have sort of anti-loop at all. She is literally just 115 woman with claw, which makes her pretty weak. So the fact that she has to run every chase normal means that you're running into a lot of issues that early Sadako players had to run into, and still run into often, is that people have wisened up to the fact that she can't do anything, so they're just going to start pre-dropping pallets and shift Wing, which is the same issues that Sadako players run into when she first came out, and even still sometimes, was that once people found out that Sadako doesn't have really any true form of anti-loop, people just started pre-dropping non-stop against that character in order to try and stop her from being able to like exert any pressure on the map. So you're going to be running into the same things while playing Adriana, is that you're going to be running into people pre-dropping against you a lot because they know that you're a 115 M1 killer. And most of my matches that I played at the beginning of my streams for like the first hour were like this. I ran a very normal build. I ran my normal M1 killer builder, which if you know, it's Surveillance, Agi, Pain Res, and Jolt. So I ran that build for like the first hour that I played, and I was feeling mostly the same way. The info in her kit is lackluster because she has no way to really act on it. She doesn't have anti-chase, she doesn't have map mobility, and she doesn't have any sort of like meaningful stealth that actually lasts. So there's really no way for her to act on her info. So when I was using my normal M1 killer build, I was really suffering because I was just having really long chases, and all of my slowdown perks are based on downing people. So having long chases while using perks that are uniquely based around downing people was not doing me any favors whatsoever. I was just having not a great time, and I was like, yeah, this character's still bottom 3, and I felt that pretty strongly. But the problem was I wasn't really rounding out her kit. If the main way she fails as a character is that she has bad chases with no real way to optimize or act on, rather, the info that she gets, then I need to like round that out somehow. So I started running Stabiffle and Game of Foot, which have great, wonderful synergy together, by the way, which I'll probably make a video on that too at some point, because that is probably one of my new favorite perk combos in the game. It's very wonderful and fun. Yeah, once I started running really good chase perks on her, suddenly the kit kind of started coming to life. Because suddenly, now that my chases weren't 10 years long because I'm a normal 115 killer, suddenly I was able to actually use the info that I had to my advantage. I was actually able to end a chase moderately quickly and then go to a gen where I had placed a drone, because my chases were quick, even though my chases aren't quick base kit. I forced it to happen with 2 perks. Once I had actually made my chases quick, I was actually able to go interrupt gens, to go quickly push people off objectives and that sort of thing. Like it was actually like having a real power, and it was amazing. And she has great add-on choice too. Like her add-ons are actually really nice. I really love her battery add-on that gives her basically free lethal pursuer by putting the claws on the survivor right away, which you can track. My favorite add-on is probably the G-locator readout, which allows you to have haste and kicking speed while you're within a drone range and continues for 15 seconds while you're out of it. Like her add-ons are actually really nice and help her with the things she's kind of bad at. So my best advice to you, if you like play this character and don't get it or don't enjoy it, is the main flaw in her is her lack of ability to chase. So run chase perks. That way you can like circumvent the Achilles heel of the character's design, and then you'll actually be able to see and enjoy the great info that her perk that her base kit gives you. Now that you have perks to kind of supplement the weaknesses that the character has, because then it starts coming to life. Then you're like, wow, okay, I really can kind of like hold certain gens or hold certain sides of the map and control the map now that my chases aren't taking 10 years. And it's really nice. She actually, weirdly enough, kind of reminds me of a not annoying Clown. And I think that's why I like her, because I like Clown a lot. One of my favorite M1 killers. Is like, there's a lot of micromanaging with like putting your drone up mid-chase. That way you can get that undetectable and you get that speed to hunt people down mid-chase. And then you have to micromanage like where your drones even are. I put some over gens and I save like 1 or 2 to use in chase. And constantly recalling them to reposition them. Like there's a lot that goes into this character. There's a lot of thought that goes into this character and playing them correctly. And if you guys have paid attention to the channel at all so far, you know that characters with high mechanical depth are always like the kind of characters that I usually gravitate towards. And Clown kind of has a similar situation with that, despite being just an M1 killer, is there's a lot of mind gaming that goes into putting the yellow bottle at one end of the loop, putting the purple bottle at the other end. So you're fast while they're slow. Little things like throwing the yellow bottle before you pick somebody up, so you have essentially free agitation moving with the person on your shoulders. So there's a lot of crossovers. So if you like what I like to call M1 Killer Plus, M1 Killers with a little bit more pizzazz, a little bit more spice like that, I feel like you'll actually really like Adriana a lot. You'll like the Skull Merchant a lot. Because she does have that M1 Killer basicness to her, but she has a lot of micromanaging to do. And if you're one of those people like me where, you know, having to micromanage a lot of things and having a lot of tasks kind of like gives your brain the dopamine, like this is actually kind of the character for you. I am so pleasantly surprised and happy that I actually really thoroughly enjoy this character, and she's actually going to be somebody in my main rotation. Just wild considering how, you know, doomed I felt going into this chapter today. That like, hey, I thought she was going to be a complete bust. I'm like, whoa, she's actually fun to play. Her lore still sucks. Her base kit design still sucks. But like, not base kit design, but her base outfit look design still sucks and all that. She's still a Predator ripoff and all these things. But like, shocker, she was fun to play. And as long as the character's fun to play, I can kind of like vibe with whatever. As long as the character's fun to play, I can kind of vibe with whatever. So yeah, that's about it. I enjoyed the character. I don't really have any complaints. New maps are cool. New survivors are cool. And she is apparently cool too, at least in terms of her power. So, wow. And I think it's so funny that like people like made such a big hullabaloo about this whole chapter, whether positively or negatively, like especially considering now that like I actually like her and we'll be putting her in my main rotation. I don't think I'd be crusading on Twitter and like freaking out that people hate her like a lot of people have and trying to crusade for people to love her. I'm like, no, I like her. But then again, like I like a lot of weird killers that a lot of people don't like, so like who cares? Like if you like her, you like her, you hate her, hate her. But also on the flip side, I wouldn't be going on my way to like say like review bomb the Steam page and make sure people like really, you know, behavior gets its comeuppance for a sloppy lore, a ripped off power, and bad base appearance. You know, both of these are just like really exaggerated still to even in this moment. So I don't know. I either you like her or you hate her. Wait until the anniversary for, you know, the next thing, and that's about it. Like don't give it too much energy. Chillax. Whether positive or negative, relax. But yeah, final verdict for me, I actually liked her, surprisingly. What did you guys think of the Skull Merchant going over to Adriana? Did you actually have fun playing where you actually got in there with her? Or do you still think that she is mostly a bust as a character? And I don't mean, you know, that thing. Yeah, that was a bad joke. Anyways, moving on. Hope you guys had a good day today. I will be seeing you guys in the Tomorrow Zone, though, because I do upload daily. But if I don't see you tomorrow, I will see you when I see you, friends. Goodbye.